All right, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Tuesday, October 8th, 2019, and seriously, I hope I'm able to keep it together during this video blog. Where to begin? All right, so stocks finished at the lows of the day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost over 300 points. However, we heard today from the Federal Reserve, Yellowstain himself. You know who Yellowstain is. And he made it very clear. As a matter of fact, let's back up a moment. How many of you recall, I don't know, a week or so ago, I outlined how Fed President Bullard floated out a rumor that the Federal Reserve was about to embark on expanding its balance sheet and recapitalizing the banks. You see what they do? They kind of feed this to the market. This was a little conversation that Bullard had with the blonde woman on CNBC. I never could remember her name. Sarah. A little lovey-dovey phone call. Anyway, no, they were live talking to each other. Maybe they talk on the phone too. I wouldn't doubt it. Anyway, so here we go. Now today was truly epic, truly really monumentally epic. I want to read this to you because this has to be verbatim. All right. Here we go. This is Yellowstain. This is crazy. Fed Chair Powell, also known as freaking dark Yellowstain. I can't even listen to this guy. I sat there and absorbed what was coming out of its mouth just so I could talk to you all about it. But believe me, I didn't want to hear a word. But this is his announcement today. Verbatim. The Fed to buy new securities, grow reserves, and its balance sheet. Again, this is exactly what Fed President Bullard explained with his little lovey-dovey conversation on CNBC with Sarah. So this really isn't a surprise, and I covered it for you. Now, let's decipher more of this. So the Fed is going to buy new securities. Let's define securities. Well, he could be talking about just about anything. He could be talking about stocks. He could be talking about debt, treasuries, bonds, you name it. So basically, it's an open book. They can do whatever they want. They're going to be buying securities, growing reserves. Now, let's talk about what that means. The Fed is going to be growing reserves. This is exactly what was outlined by, again, Fed President Bullard, recapitalizing the banks on your back. Okay. And the Fed is going to be inflating its balance sheet. Unbelievable. But then he went on to say, and I want to get this right too, here. He went on to say that the economy's outlook is favorable. Now let me ask you, in your infinite wisdom here, and most of you out here are smarter than I am, why is it that if our economy's outlook is favorable, President says we're doing really great, Powell says we're doing great, so they're synchronized. If our economy is doing really well, then why a massive expansion of debt, again, on an unprecedented scale? You know what this means? Hundreds upon hundreds of billions of dollars are going to be magically created out of thin air. Where do they come from? Like I explained to you in a recent video. The Fed has to create all this stuff and buy the debt, buy securities, recapitalize the banks. Why do they have to do all this? Why are you and I and the American people being forced to do this right now? I must say, right now, hold your ears, those who don't want to hear anything bad about President Trump. He must be spraying his shorts repeatedly, multiple sprays of his shorts after what he just heard from Yellowstain. Believe me, these two people are on the same page. You want to talk about kissing cousins? I believe they do spend multiple nights together cuddling while they're playing the American people, the good cop, bad cop, and they seem to always get synchronized. I mean, I know you're not that stupid, so you follow my blog. I've outlined for you this blow by freaking blow, and look how it's played out exactly like I explained to you. People, look, There is no other way to put this. And did you hear Yellowstein when he was asked by one of some woman? This sounds an awful like quantitative easing. He chuckled. Oh no, this is nothing like QE. Rick Santelli's making fun of him. Bravo to you, Rick Santelli. This is QE. It's QE freaking 6. QE 6. And this is just the opening salvos, people, like I've been explaining to you. Look, I really freaking scare myself sometimes. I really do. And you saw how the market responded. The market was down like 300. When he promised more easy money, the market went higher. And the market did bleed off. Again, why? A stunning admission today from, and I'm going to give the man credit, the President of the United States, credit. Why does he deserve credit? And I want to get this right here. President Trump, are you ready for this? A truth. A complete trade deal with China is unlikely. Meanwhile, just yesterday, he explained that a trade deal was coming soon for the gazillionth time. Bipolar? What do you think? Something's going on here. I don't know. And then, of course, we got the IMF chief explaining that we're in a global slowdown, including the United States. But we're booming. And you know how I can prove to you that our economy is booming and our president is 100% right? Because the Federal Reserve is now about to, inflate its balance sheet, recapitalize the banks, buy treasuries, buy bonds, and securities. So, again, they're going to own the entire market. People, look, I do not pull this stuff out of a hat. And before you make a comment, you should really know what you're talking about. There are people out here, I don't know what they do for a living, but they think they understand central banking. They're like, oh, we're going to bankrupt the Fed by having them print more cash out of thin air. That's what the president wants to do. Duh! No. The more debt every single world central bank issues, the stronger they become, period. It's their only product. This is what they want to do. It's a multi-decade plan to own the world, to become the buyers and lenders of last resort. And Donald Trump, Mario Draghi, and all of these developed nations are playing the same game with the central banks. But there's a bigger plan going on. Trump wants to end the Fed. People who are still stuck in that delusion because of the YouTube channels that are being paid to produce propaganda, those people should be locked up. They should be in handcuffs, and you know exactly who they are. They are misleading people on a grand scale. Compare what I have explained to you since how long to what they've explained to you. Who's got it right? Maybe it's me, Greg Mannarino. Yeah, it is me. Okay. I'm telling you, this is just too much for me, honestly. So people, look, in summary, stocks got hit today after trying to rebound, after Yellowstein promised more easy money into this market for as far as the eye can see, buying securities, buying treasuries, buying bonds, recapitalizing the banks. I mean, this is more than quantitative easing. What do they think? We're stupid? So what do you call it when a central bank embarks on inflating its balance sheet by buying all kinds of debt, the short end of the curve, the extreme short end of the curve, going back to the federal funds rate, involved in this repo scam? They're buying medium-term debt, long-term debt, again, recapitalizing the banks, if I left that off, I don't remember, and buying securities. Okay, Yellowstein, we're not that stupid. We know exactly what we're seeing, you freaking ugly, disgusting, vomitous mass. Seriously. But no, do not call it QE. And you know who else won't call it QE? A guy with an orange complexion who has a horrid comb-over. Maybe you know who that is? Gosh, I tell you, people, this is outrageous. This is so freaking. I told you I wasn't going to keep it together. This stuff gets to me. It really does. It should get to you too, because once again, you are being forced to bankroll this entire thing. You are going to be robbed blind like you have no idea. A series of rate cuts is coming. That's why this report was floated out today. This fake data with regard to there's no inflation. They really think that you cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. Ha! Hold on a minute. Most people outside my window here cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. But if you follow my work, I know you can. I have kept All of you, so far ahead of the curve on everything that you're hearing, it's almost frightening, literally like I have a crystal ball. But again, it just comes back to how much I study this stuff. There's probably not a moment of my waking hours where I'm not studying this or pondering it and thinking about it. This is how I'm able to do it. Seriously, in life, you have to remember this. Whatever you want to be good at, you have to become that thing. You can't just say this is what I do. It has to be what you are. And in this environment where everything is just so simple, it's laid out for us, we know what they're going to do before they do it. It cannot be more simple. And then you got these paid YouTube channels pushing propaganda, trying to mislead you, just like the mainstream media. There's no difference now between certain shows out here and the mainstream media propaganda, fascist, communist, Nazi, whatever you want to call it. That's what they are. These YouTube channels to me are committing a crime, and they are nothing short of a new form of Nazi, trying to mislead people on a grand scale. These people should be held to account because, again, who's gotten it right? Greg Mannarino or them? You let me know. I love all of you. Please share this video. Get it out there. I think it's super important. I am so out of here. See you in the morning.